What's up with you for today's video with a full level 1 dragon Pokemon team. This is my 1500th theme team on YouTube. I don't know if you've watched all my theme teams over the years, but this is a pretty big milestone. So I've done 1500 different individual teams when I started this series over, I would be probably 10 years ago now, so this was really cool to do. I've been working on this one for like 2 weeks, so that's why we haven't had any video loads. And without further ado, let's get into it. We've got a bunch of battles. So in these battles, I'll be using purely level 1 Pokemon that are dragon type, and I'll be trying to use cool fun strategies to try and defeat the opponent. I have 6 battles in today's video, and I really hope you enjoy. If you enjoy the videos, people, you want to support the channel, hit that like button. Alright, first battle here. This one's on the Poke Portal. We've got a Enamorous Terra Fighting, and they really needed to go for that Terra Fighting, So I've got a Dragalge lead here. Now, the idea of this set is to set up some Toxic Spikes and maybe get a Poison Point against the opponent, and that was virtually it. I have Smoke Screen on this too, so I can try and get some evasion maybe, or some accuracy drops. That's pretty much it. Now, these Pokemon, a lot of them are from Pokemon Go, so that's how they're fully evolved, in their forms and stuff like that. Some of them are from events too, so I sort of did a mix of each. If you'd like me to continue this series, to maybe do a team like this for every single type, let me know in the comment section, everyone. But, have you watched all of my videos over the years? Have you watched most of them? Let me know. I'd just always like to hear that. Anyway, so I actually managed to get a Poison Point on Enamorous, which is really cool. Matter of fact, I got 2 Poison Points in a row, which is really nice. And the first one actually got healed, and the second one worked. So that's the end of Dragalge. Next Pokemon we're going to bring is going to be Dialga. Now, this Dialga is actually from a special event. I've got the actual real event cartridge for it. I've actually got 2 of them in different languages, but I'll talk about that in a sec. But this Dialga is level 1, and it's got Trick Room, Sandstorm, and Trick. And it's just there to set up a Trick Room to help out my team, because obviously they're very slow. Now, I'm going to be getting hit by a Superpower here, and Superpower, well, it doesn't really matter that it's getting boosted on it, so it's a contrary. It's obviously, if you see any mons like Pokemon, you get them with these .com names. They're just hacked like Pokemon, so just release them and stuff, throw them into the bin. So we're getting a little bit of toxic damage on Enamorous, which is good. I've also got Stealth Rock, so I thought I'd use that to set that up too. So I've got both of those going for me. Dialga doesn't really learn a lot of moves at level 1, so when they're at level 1, they can learn obviously their level 1 moves, and they can learn TMs and stuff too. And sometimes, depending on the Pokemon, or they can learn egg moves too, but obviously depending on the Pokemon, like Dialga wouldn't be included in that. But there is a little bit of room for creativity, but a lot of it got wiped when you put a Pokemon on a Pokemon home, right? And then the moves get removed for that particular game. That was particularly tough to get a team to actually work here. So I know that Drifblim isn't a dragon type Pokemon, obviously, so I thought with this team series I could possibly do, if you're interested in that, I can actually deliberately have one Pokemon that isn't that type, and that way I can use the Terra type to turn it into a dragon, because really with these teams, Terra doesn't matter all that much, right? Using a lot of cheese strategy. So I thought this is probably the key player on my team, which is going to be my Drifblim, or Drift Dragon in this case. So this is a minimized baton pass there. So I want to try and pass some evasion onto... There are a couple of Pokemon on my team that can benefit from this, but we're going to try and get as many up as possible. Now, this was a big sort of core feature of this team, and if it did fail, it made it very hard to do anything. So I believe this Enamorous looked like it ran out of superpowers, and I managed to dodge a couple of springtime scums there. We're going to baton pass into Haxorus. I mean, tiny Haxorus. So we got the micro Haxorus here. That's all it is. And we got this Enamorous trying to go for Fly here. So I had Fly, Superpower, and Springtide Scum. We're going to go for an Endeavor combination. It actually does get Endeavor as a on this, which is really cool. So that's going to allow me to get a KO. So we got the Toxic Spikes up there. We got a bit of evasion. Next Pokemon we're going to have is, oh look, it's a Arceus. It's a Gracias. So we got Arceus Grass, so Gracias, you know. Now this obviously a totally legit Arceus here. It's going to go for Judgment. That's going to miss, and Endeavor is going to land, and that is bye-bye to the little hacked Arceus. So we got that Enamorous down, and we got the Arceus down. So it's a solid start to the battle. Now, if you're wondering for EVs and stuff, there were no EVs on this Pokemon at all. What is that name on? I have no idea what the name on the Darkrai is. I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they bought this on Temu or something. So anyway, we got a Quick Claw Darkrai because, you know, Darkrai is totally slow. And we're going to get that Endeavor off because we got a miss and Darkrai is going to go down. So that's 3 Pokemon down there to the Haxorus. So this Haxorus, I was sort of going between Bright Powder and Focus Sash. The other moves were Taunt, Endure, and Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse was just on there to finish an opponent off that wasn't, like, let's say, for example, they were a Steel type, right? And I had 1 health and I needed to finish them off, or any of those types of things. So in comes a Groudon. It's going to go for a Seeded move. That is going to miss, and Groudon is also going to faint too. So we've taken out 4 Pokemon with the Haxorus. We're getting a level 1 Haxorus sweep so far. So we got another .com Pokemon. Throw that one in the trash, and it's going to be a floating Palkia. So I'm going to go for Endeavor again. And on this time, we got some pressure. I was a little bit worried because pressure, Endeavor only has a little bit of PP, right? So Spatial Rend is going to land, unfortunately, on my Haxorus. We do have the Focus Sash as a backup, which is good. So it's good to have a bit of backup. Endeavor is going to drop that Palkia, and it is going to be fainting. So we've got 5 Pokemon down for a full level 1 Haxorus sweep here. I think that I've done 1 Haxorus sweep before. I think it might have been, well, it's done with like Scratch. I can't remember, but it's been a long time. Next Pokemon is Koga. It's their last Pokemon. Now, I was a little bit worried. It's like, if my Haxorus gets hit by a move, I better go for Endure, right? Because I'll get some more poison turns. And I've got like a Drifblim left on, basically can't do a lot, and 2 other Pokemon which may not do anything either. So I got to think of that. The Sheer Cold, the Origin Pulse is going to miss, and that is going to be the end of the Kyogre, and that is a beautiful, salty Rage Crit right at the end. A level 1 Haxorus sweep, people, against a legendary spammer. I hope you enjoyed this, people. Drop a like if you did, and let's get on to the second battle. Man, that sort of, do you reckon that deserves its own video? I reckon it does. Like, maybe I should put that in its own video, but I had to show you that one. Next battle here, we got a battle. This one is against Little Joba, and we have a Goldingo lead. Now, this Pokemon is a solid counter for my team, purely because its ability and its typing. Now, my opponent did bring 3 Pokemon here, but it was like Goldingo and 2 legendaries. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do here. So Goldingo obviously doesn't have very much special attack, so it's going to need to go for, you know, tons of nasty plus against a level 1 Pokemon. And I'm setting up Toxic Spikes, right? And they're setting up nasty plus. So obviously, I don't know, they really need those boosts, right? You know, those level 1 Pokemon. I got that max special defense, you know, max health on my level 1 Pokemon, man. It really makes it bulky. So Goldingo's going to be getting 3 nasty plots up here. It's got a lot of special attack. Has anyone done that shiny Gimmighoul raid lately? Have you got your shiny yet? Or are you still trying to go for it? I did hear it does drop some Herb and Mystico. Anyway, we've got a little Timmy Terra here on the Goldingo. It really needs that Terra, and it is going to be Terra Steel. So at least I guess that it's not Ghost, you know, maybe for a normal time move. So Make It Rain is going to miss on the Dragon. Now I'm going to go for Mud Slap. So I had a combination of Smoke Screen and Mud Slap on this set, and Mud Slap was good for dropping the accuracy, and I got paralyzed here by the Thunder Wave too. So I had Thunder Wave, Nasty Plot, and Make It Rain. I'm assuming it's got like a goat like Shadow Ball or something as its 4th move. So I managed to get hit by that. I do have Sash on this set. I'm dropping that, you know, I dropped that special attack. It's really going to change so many things, right? You know, obviously my Pokemon is really with this team, right? If a Pokemon is like, let's say level 20 or 15, it would generally be one-shotting my whole team. So a couple of Make It Rains there is going to be enough to take out Drowgy, but that's fine. You know, I pretty much just wanted Toxic Spikes for this Pokemon. Now, the next Pokemon I'm thinking about bringing here, I was like, maybe I could set in Drifblim, try and set up. I was like, I want to see if we can get this Garchomp to work, so I didn't get to show you this last. So it's a Sand Attack, Protect, Dragon Rest, Sand Tomb set with Bright Powder, and it's got Sand Veil. Unfortunately, the Make It Rain actually landed there, which was pretty lucky. I was going to go for a Sand Tomb and, go for all those things, but it got one shot. So, what can you do, right? It also had a Shell Bell as its item. Gold Dingo's getting so much health back from these KOs. So, we got this Dragonite, and you got to wrap before you tap. So we got Wrap, Thunder Wave, and I get landed by an attack again, like back to back. So I'm getting pretty bad luck at the moment. So that's the end of the Dragonite. More on Garchomp and Dragonite in the upcoming battles. Next Pokemon we got is going to be Dialga. So I need a speed advantage, and I reckon I might need Stealth Rock too, just for a little bit of added damage. It wasn't always needed, but say if the opponent had like a Charizard or a Talonflame or something like that, and they weren't carrying a Boot or Volcarona or something like that, it could be pretty handy. So I've set the rocks up, I've set the Trick Room up, and now we're going to go to Drifloon. Hopefully I can get these minimized up, because if I don't, it's going to be very, very bad. So the other move it's got is the Shadow Ball. I'm setting up the minimize here. I'm crossing my fingers, right? So the rule with this team, I wasn't allowed to Terra any other Pokemon apart from the Drifloon, unless I felt like I was going to win the battle and then I could, Terra the last Pokemon or something like that. That's usually how I run this. So Goldingo going to swap out there. In comes Miraidon. So we got Goldingo, Miraidon. I've got some evasion up here. I'm setting it up profusely. So this is obviously this is a legendary spamming team. So I know it's going to go for Electro Drift like over and over, right? That's the end of the Trick Room. It's going to go for Electro Drift. That's going to miss, which is good. And I'm going to go for my third minimize. So I've got the maximum amount of minimizes up. I do have Focus Sash. I can take one hit, but that's virtually it. So I'm going to avoid that next attack there, and we're going to get the Baton Pass off. So I was thinking, I guess I could try and go to Haxorus again, because Dragonite and Garchomp are fainted. I've got really no choice, because Drifloon and Dialga are more set up mon. So we're going to go into Tiniest now, and Miraidon going to take a little bit of toxic damage. So one Endeavor will be able to beat this. Unfortunately, Electro Drift lands with all the evasion up on the incoming turn, and that's going to take me down to Sash. It's not all that bad, but I wish I sort of had that Sash backed up. So I've got Endeavor here. Miraidon also has the Life Orb too. So that's going to be the end of the Miraidon. It is going to die to the Toxic. Now with this Toxic Spikes and Endeavor strategy, Toxic Spikes would do enough damage to another Pokemon, even if they weren't on 1 health, because level 1 only has a very small amount of health. So in comes Goldingo. I got it to 1 health, or pretty much, and it landed a Shadow Ball. I was getting so unlucky with this, because I had top evasion up there, and I was still getting hit. So I'm like, what do I do? I've got a Drifloon left. I've got a Dialga left. Something has to happen here. So I'm going to go back in Dialga. It's got 1 health left on the Goldingo. I don't have a lot to do this, so I thought maybe I could try and PP stall this Goldingo. With Drifloon or something like that. I'm trying to think of some ways here. So initially with this Drifloon set, I had a Curse and Strength set. I couldn't even trick the item either, because Good as Gold counted a lot of the strategy on this team. So Goldingo's going to fake me a Dialga, which is fine. I set up the Trick Room, just to, maybe I could get some minimizers going. So I'm going to go into the Drifloon here. I've got minimizers, and that's all I can do. This really only has Shadow Ball to hit against me, or Thunder Wave. They're the only 2 moves. So Thunder Wave is going to miss my Drifloon there, and I'm setting up these minimizers here. It's going to keep missing. I'm setting them up, which is good, but I can't do anything to this, right? I have no attacking moves, but I do have Curse though. So I thought if I go Curse, I can take it out. But an interesting thing you may not know, if you use Curse against a Goldingo with Good as Gold, it fails. So I'm like, I'm going to have to PP stall the Goldingo out. Really, they've used up all the Make It Rains here, right? So I'm going to have to try and get rid of the Shadow Ball. So Thunder Wave at last finally lands on my Drifloon, and then they're going to swap out the Goldingo. But the Stealth Rock will actually take out Goldingo, which is good that I set up, before that. So that's not all that bad. So with this stage, I thought, well, I'm going to have to go for Terra Dragon here. I have to do that. That's my theme team. It's not a Dragon team otherwise. So I'm going to go for Terra Dragon and try and, beat this Miraidon. Hopefully none of its moves land. It can't use anything at the moment. So I set up a Curse on it before I could go for the Terra Dragon. Dragon Claw's going to miss, which is good. So it's only going to take 1 move to take out my Drifloon. Now, Drifloon also has the ability Aftermath too, if anything goes, really, really bad. So I'm going for that. The Trick Room's gone. Out goes the Koraidon because obviously they don't want to curse, right? And in comes Goldengo. The Stealth Rocks are going to actually take out Goldengo, which is awesome. So all that's left is Koraidon. I went for a Terra Dragon Driplim. Terra Dragon these nuts, and we got one more Koraidon left. Now, I cannot go for Curse anymore. I mean, I can, but since I'm not a Ghost type anymore, Curse will just raise my attack and defense and drop my speed. So I pretty much need to rely on the Toxic Spikes that are on the ground to beat this thing, right? So a little bit of Stealth Rock damage there, and we've got this Koraidon. So Koraidon has got Dragon Claw, we know that. I'm going to get paralyzed this turn, not that it really matters, I can't do anything. Collision Course is going to miss, which is very, very good. So Koraidon's got like, I'd say like 2 turns and then it's cooked. I'm going to go for a Curse here. As you can see, it's not going to have the same effects as a Ghost-type Pokemon. I'm trying to make myself bulky here, right? Koraidon's going to miss another Collision Course. It's only going to take one more for it to faint here. So look at that beautiful Toxic damage. One more, and I get paralyzed this turn. Koraidon is going to go for Collision Course, and it's going to land. Now watch, this was absolute BS, right? It took my Driplim out. Aftermath kicks in, I freeze framed to here, and Koraidon lived on like 1 health. That's gonna be the most like absolute saltiest finish to a battle there. That's it, people. I fainted, and the Koraidon lived on 1 health. Man, I was actually generally unlucky in that battle. Like all those like 100%. I like this minimizes, and then that landing at the end. Anyway, people, hope you enjoyed battle number 2 there. Let's get on to battle number 3. Now, this is the battle against Dean. This was another Pokeportal random battle, and they've got the homie Squirtle. So they had 6 Pokemon, right? Now, if you're curious, right, I am doing no restrictions battle. So what does that mean? I'm battling with the exact levels that I've got. So that'll mean if the opponent doesn't have a Pokemon that's level 100, theirs is also going to be, whatever level it is, right? It might be like level 1 like this Squirtle. So my opponent brought 2 Pokemon. They brought a level 1 Pokemon and another one. So they've got a Squirtle. It's got Tackle and Tail Whip, right? I'm getting a little bit scared of it, but we got that poison up, and it's, it's working really nicely. So I'm going for Mudslap on this Squirtle over and over. I'm not too worried. I think we got this Squirtle beating a children's game of Pokemon, yeah? So Tackle's doing some enormous damage here against my Drowgy. They're getting them tackles off, right? It's a pretty close matchup. So I got my final Mudslap here. I'm hoping Squirtle can actually miss a tackle, but you know what, like, that Squirtle, it never ever miss a tackle at all. So that's Squirtle down, that's good. But I was worried about this last Pokemon, I was really worried. The next Pokemon is Skiddo. Skiddo was a thumping, throbbing level 18, and now they're going to go for a Terra. So I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. Like, I'm not losing to a level 18 Skiddo. Oh, hell nah. So we got this Terra Grass. It's not Terra Grass Arceus either. It's a Terra Grass Skiddo. So Skiddo going to unload that Razor Leaf on my Drowgy. That is going to be enough to take me out. Like, this Razor Leaf pretty much can take out my entire team. So I got to beat this Skiddo, So we're going to go to Dialga. We need a speed advantage here, yeah? So I got to go into that. I'm going to set the Trick Room up first because I need to do that. And I'm going to get taken down to my Sash by Razor Leaf, right? So we got that Trick Room up. That's good. There really isn't much I can do here. I actually went for a Dragon Breath, but I misclicked Stealth Rock, so it's a disaster, right? So hopefully, Skiddo will do a little hop to the left and then a hop to the right, and, he'll tread on those rocks, right? We'll get some damage through that. That actually wouldn't be a bad entry as it, you put the rocks on the field, or I don't know, the objects are like pebbles, right? You put them on the field, and then there's like a 1 in 10 chance that the Pokemon can stub their toe, I wouldn't know. I never stubbed my toe. So that's going to be the end of the Drifblim there. I set the curse up on the Skiddo because I had to do that, right? So we're bringing in the Garchomp now. Now Garchomp's got a Dragon Breath. Dragon Breath does a thumping 1 health to Skiddo, but I got a Paralyze, which is really good, right? So we got the Razor Leaf landing, and that's going to be the end of Garchomp. That's fine. We've got 2 more Pokemon left. I've got Haxorus, and I've also got 1 other Pokemon left too. So I've got my Dragonite. So this Dragonite is the Wrap Thunderwave substitute set. I went for Supersonic. It missed, which sucks. Then they got Paralyzed. So them getting Paralyzed was actually really good there because Dragonite would have fainted because I've got on this set. I've got Wide Lens, Wrap, Thunderwave, Supersonic, a sub, and I've got Inner Focus too, yeah? So I'm going for that Supersonic. What I wanted to do here, I wanted to try and make the opponent, like, faint to confusion, so they'd be, like, incredibly salty. So that's another curse here. Look at this, right? So I'm hoping if they hit themselves here, they'll take themselves out with a confusion, right? So there's the chickens, right? I'm seeing them flying, but they didn't get confused at all, and then they one-shotted my Dragonite. So like, come on, man. That's the end of my Dragonite, and that is also the end of the powerful level 18 Skiddo. So thank you for the battle, Dean. Whoever you are, you're Skiddo. Like, he was a real one, man. It was like the final boss in like a video game, right? We got the W. We beat a Skiddo in a children's game of Pokemon. Let's get into battle number 4. I have no idea what the trainer's name here. Maybe someone can translate for me. And we have got a Florgsley. Now this, I gotta be real with you, right? I have no idea what was going on this battle at all. Like, just watch this, right? So, of course, we got another Pokemon setting up Calm Minds against level 1. Now, I've got to speculate here. 1, they're trolling. 2, they don't realize I've got level 1s. 3, they have no clue what they're doing. 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4, they're doing all of the above. Okay, so they're setting up Calm Minds. This person literally set up every single Calm Mind they possibly could. They're boosting this Florgs up to like +6, right? So I thought, anyway, why they're doing that, I may as well set up a Trick Room, and I may as well set up some Toxic Spike, right? Because there was some nasty Pokemon. On the team. I'm just going to take a quick sip here, people. I'm getting very thirsty. Now, I'm having some G-Fuel. You can use code SALT on your G-Fuel, get that juicy 20% off. All right, I had it up. I've had a nice big sip here. I'm energized. I'm ready to go. Florgs is it's energizing itself too with them with those Calm Minds. So I think this was like the 3rd or 4th Calm Mind, and I thought I'd probably better set a Toxic on Florgs, right? That's the only thing about Toxic Spike. If they don't swap out, you know, they're not likely to get poisoned. So this is Calm Mind 4 or 5. And I know they're going to start attacking soon, but I just don't... I think they didn't realize that I was level 1. They just assumed that I was level 100, right? I had quite a few battles where that happened. Now, you're probably wondering too, how many fails did you get with this team? I got so many fails, because it's simply a very hard team to use. And, you know, the opponent would just come in and spam the A button on like a meta team, right? Or they bring like super easy counters to this team, and it was very, very difficult, right? It was a surprise that I even really had content for a video like this, right? It was very, very hard to get. So I want to say it probably took me at least over 100 battles or more to do this team. So I hope you can appreciate that sort of thing, that sort of the effort that goes into these sort of things, or the patience, I guess you could say. So that's going to be the end of my Drauggy to a Moonblast. We got some good quality damage on Florgs. Next Pokemon we're going to bring is going to be Garchomp. So I thought maybe we can get this Bright Powder Mist, and then they swapped. It's like, oh, they're trying to conserve the Florgs. Okay, so in comes Flutter Mane. Now, this is pretty funny. So, Flutter Mane is going to get attacked by the Toxic. It's got that, it's got that going. So, I'm for Protector. Like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go for Protect again. There's not much to lose here. Maybe I might be able to get a Bright Powder Mist. Like, it was a Bright Powder Sandvale Garchomp, you know. The problem was, a lot of the time I found with Dialga, I wasn't able to get the sand up, and then, you know, Trick Room Sand and then Stealth Rock. It was very difficult. So, unfortunately, Moonblast is going to faint my Garchomp here, which sucks. So, I guess the most positive thing that came out of that, a bit of toxic damage. So we're bringing in Dialga again. I'm thinking I cannot get the Haxorus to Endeavor to work with this because it's a ghost type, yeah, so I need to get rid of it. So first things first, we need to get some speed control. So we got that Trick Room and we got that set up. So I thought, well, I can go for either Sandstorm or I could go for the Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks could be handy, a little bit of incoming damage, or I could see what their item is. I wanted to see what their item was, so I went for the trick. I don't have an item, and it was a Choice Specs Flutter Lame. So yeah, not too surprising there, right? So that's going to be the end of the Dialga. So that's half my team gone. I haven't taken a single Pokemon out yet. So I'm like, man, this is bad. Can I crawl and claw my way back into this battle? Oh, we got a KO there. We got a KO finally. So we're bringing in Dragonite. This is the subset. Now watch this, right? So in comes Chiam-Pao, right? So Chiam-Pao going to take that Stealth Rock damage and that poison damage. Now, instead of attacking me, right, I went for sub to get that dub, you know. Now, instead of attacking me, the Chiam-Pao went for a nasty plop. Now, I don't know about you, but I smelled a rat there. I'm like, wait. Why has this got nasty plot for? And then I was like, wait, there's only one Pokemon that I know this can be, because I know that doesn't get it. It's a Zoroark, right? So that Zoroark, for some reason, feels the need. They really feel the need to set up, you know, a +6 with Nasty Blow. You know, I know these are scary Pokemon. These level 1 Pokemon are scary, but come on, man. So we're going to go for that Supersonic. It actually landed, which was a surprise with its terrible actually. So I've got a Confusion going, and I've got Toxic. So I thought, well, I actually might be able to get this KO if I get very, very lucky, right? So, Zorite is going to hit itself. What, did it just spank itself? What? Like, I want to see that. Wait, I need to see that animation again. Anyway, we got some chickens, and I'm hoping for another Confusion. It turns to the side and whacks itself with its tail. Damn, that's brutal. Anyway, everything went right my way there. I got all the correct hacks, and Chiampow's gonna faint. So at this stage, I was like, man, we might be able to get this W. So in comes the real Chiampow. This is actually the real one here, and they're gonna spam Icicle Crash. That's gonna land on my Substitute, and I've got the speed advantage at this point in time with Substitute. So I thought I might be able to go for Sub again and continually do that, right? The good thing is, if they miss an Icicle Crash, there's a small chance I might be able to get around like another turn. So some more toxic damage here. Chiampow's is going to be swapping. They sort of realized what my strategy is, I think now, and then they brought in the ginormous counter to my entire team. So this Pokemon pretty much countered every Pokemon on my team. Unless I was completely set up, right, had some evasion or something going like that. So Surging Strikes is going to hit me 3 times. That gets around the sub. That gets around like a Focus Sash. It's very, very strong, right? And a lot of people spam this, you know, because it's a very good Pokemon. It doesn't take a lot of skill to use. So that's going to be the end of the Dragonite. I've got 2 Pokeball left. I was like, man, I don't know how I can beat this thing. Like, so I'm bringing in Haxorus. I'm thinking, okay, there's one move that can actually get around this that I've got, and that's Endure. So I'm going for Endure here. Hopefully we can get this thing. And then it went for Close Combat. I'm like, what? Okay, anyway, so they went for Close Combat. They've got Surging Strikes and Close Combat. So that's, I guess, is okay. So I thought maybe I can go into Drift Beam, say they use Close Combat again. So I swapped out of that, went into Drift Beam, and hopefully they'll go for a Close Combat again, and use another turn. And then they went for Brick Break. I'm like, what the heck? So I was like, okay, they got Brick Break and Close Combat. Fair enough. So that's another turn of Toxic. That's good. Then I went for a Terra, because of course I've got to go for a Terra here. And I thought, all right, let's say I have Urshifu. Let's say worst case scenario, it goes for Surging Strikes again. Well, I've got Aftermath and I've got Toxic, so that should just be enough to take it out, right? So I've got that going. Here comes the Scummy Strikes, and that's going to take me down to 1 health. Obviously, that crit matters, you know. Drift Beam, level 1 is, you know, such a bulky Pokemon. And yeah, that's the end of Drift Beam. It did its best there. It was cool. I had a Ghost initially to, you know, be able to swap that in. So Aftermath is going to come into effect here. And you know what? This time, the opponent actually doesn't live due to the Toxic. That's good. So what Aftermath does, if you are confused or you don't know what it does a quarter of the Pokemon's maximum health. If you really are interested in Aftermath ability, I've actually done a theme team purely on it, which is quite cool. Anyway, last Pokemon to see is going to be Dondozo. I'd love to get a juicy Endeavor on this. I got Mold Breaker. Unfortunately, it's going to be Haxorus for a sushi tonight. And that's it, people. Haxorus got served up with the sushi. And that is the end of battle number 4. Pretty interesting battle there. I don't think they had any clue that I was level 1 to like maybe the end of the battle. I don't know. All right, next battle. This one is against Juan or Huan. I don't know how to say that, but they had a full legendary team. But I think they looked at my team of level 1s, yeah, and they're like, nah, this scrub, I can beat this scrub with one Eternatus. So they're going to go for a Terra on the first turn against my amazingly powerful team, and they've got their Terra Poison, so I can't do any poison shenanigans at all. So I won't be able to poison this. Toxic Spikes, that's, you know, sort of off the table. So that's why I sort of was interested to see what other moves it have. So it's got Dynamax Cannon, which was to be expected. Now, I went for I went for Mud Slap here. I went for Mud Slap because I tried to drop the accuracy. I thought that was a good idea. So I got one Mud Slap off, and then I went for a Sludge Bomb. So they've got Sludge Bomb's a bit annoying, though, because it can poison, so it might be able to get around my Sasha. So I was actually a little bit worried. I'm like, man, I don't know if I can. Let's see if I can do this right. So I'm going to go into Dialga. At least Dialga cannot be affected by Sludge Bomb at all, so I can get the Trick Room up. Then they went for Cosmic Power. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do any damage. Maybe they think I've got some strategy up to try and do lots of damage with level 1s, but obviously not this time. So I went for the trick here. I was curious what they had. So I'm going for that trick on the Eternatus. I gave it a Focus Sash, and I got a Dragon Fang. So I'm like, well, that's That's very good, you know. Obviously, a Turnitus is not going to be able to hit me as hard with that, Dynamax cannon. Anyway, that's the end of Dialga. We got 2 Pokemon down. So now we're going to go into the Haxorus. I thought, all right, I've got Trick Room going. I've got Endeavor going. Let's do this right. So I'm going to go for Taunt. I smell a rat, right? Because I think they've got Recover. I reckon they've got Cosmic Power, Recover, Sludge Bomb, and Dynamax Cannon. Like, Cosmic Power and Recover work hand in hand. So now they can't go for Recover. So I'm going to go for the Endeavor. I was like, please don't poison me. And it didn't happen, which is awesome. So Eternatus is on 1 health, and that's the end of Haxorus. However, I've got the Trick Room still going, so I know that I can outspeed. So I was like, all right, what do I do here, people? I don't have Driploom. Let's go for our Dragonite. This time we'll go for a Terra because I haven't even sent in the Driploom. I know I can get the W. So what we're going to do, we're going to go for a Terra Dragonite, and I've got this move. I thought, what's the most disrespectful move I can use to, to feint the opponent with? And I chose Wrap. Like, look at this. Here we go. So we got the Wrap KO, level 1 on the Eternatus, and that, my friends, is the end of the battle. At least they didn't rage quit there, but next time, man, you got to bring your whole team, right? You don't want to mess with the best. We've got 1 more battle left. This is going to be battle number 69. This is a battle against Zyrus or Zyrus. I don't know how to say that. And of course, we've got a nice little hack Glimora lead. So this battle, we got Garchomp as our first Pokemon. They're going to set up the Stealth Rocks there. So Stealth Rocks on the field. That's going to render my team almost mostly useless unless I can get Drifblim or something like that. So I thought, all right, I'll set up the Sand Tomb here. I'll get that going. So Sand Tomb, what that does, it traps the opponent and does damage at the end of the turn. And now they're going to set up Spikes. So they really, obviously, they probably know that I've got like Sash or some sort of strategy on these Pokemon. So they're setting up, I don't know if Spikes is really needed, but like Stealth Rock's probably not. But they're getting that. They really want that Spikes damage. They also can't swap at the moment either. So I was like, well, I'm just going to keep going for Sand Attack here. I really can't do a lot, you know. So I'm going for Sand Tomb and Sand Attack combination here on my Garchomp. I don't have Sand Veil up, which sort of sucks, but I've got them Sand Attacks going regardless. So that's going really nicely. I'm getting lots of them up. They've set 3 layers of, I think that's, 3 layers of Spikes up and Stealth Rock, which is fine. I thought I may as well just go for Protect this turn to see what attacking move they would have because, I know they're going to start attacking after they set, unless they got Mortal Spin or something. That's what I was thinking. So I'm going to go for Protect here on my Garchomp, and they're actually going to go for a Meteor Beam. So like, okay, well, that sucks. I wish I would have gone Protect next turn, but they had a they had a Power Herb, so it activated this turn, which is cool. So I was like, oh, that's great. That's not going to attack me. So it's going to get blocked by Protect. So now what I can do is I can actually go for the Sand Attack again. So Glimora is going to go for a Meteor Beam. I was like, wait a second. If they go for that again, I can just use Protect on the attacking turn, which is interesting. So I'm going for Sand Tomb. I've got that going. It's good. And I'm thinking, I'll go for Protect. I think I can beat this. Doesn't not have any, like, attacking moves that are 1 turn. So I'm going for my my Protect and Sand Tomb combination with Sand Attack. It's working really, really well. And I'm thinking, well, this turn, I could go for Protect. I'll attack this turn with Sand Attack, or I'll go Sand Tomb, and then I can go for it. However, my opponent now is going to go for a Terra normal Glimora. It's like, okay, I'm not sure what they're going to do with Terra normal. So I'm waiting for this, and then they use Explosion. I was like, oh, I wish I went for a double Protect, right? So here comes the Explosion on my Garchomp, yeah, and the bad thing happened for them. Explosion miss. I was like, oh man, they got to be salty with that one. The Glimora's going to fight, and they rage quit Baby Bottle right at the end. What an amazing video, people. Hope you like it. I'll catch you next time. Peace.